Okay, so here we go. Let's get into the topic of today's discussion, live stream, which is the signature of God. Of course, if we were made by God, you expect there to be evidence in our DNA of having been made by God, which is kind of evident. And there's only one lineage that you can verify genetically that lineage existed, and that's the Cohen modal haplotype of Aaron, which is Moses' brother. So the lineage of Moses' brother, Aaron, and the tribe of Levi, and the tribe of Israel, or the tribes of Israel, Abraham, and ARPHAXAD is identified as IJ. So let's go check into it here. Let's add this to the stage here. Put this over here, make more room, make it bigger. So, with Noah as the root, it would be the IJK according to the ages of the sons of Noah, which is Shem, Japheth, and Ham. Okay, so this is very easy to understand. Well, here we go. Yeah, so when Shem has the Basal IJ, or in other words, he's got the original M89G and the M9C. So this is easy to understand the difference between the Semitic population, the Eurasian population, and the Hamitic population. So Shem is identified as M89G and M9C. So in Japheth, this M9C is going to have a single nucleotide polymorphism. This is with IJK as the root. So the IJK as the root is the basal, original, most original genome or lineage. So the most original lineage doesn't have any S&P markers because it's the most original. Just like they assume the out of Africa, they assume A is the most original basal, but it's not because it's the youngest, obviously. So when we go to the M9C marker, or this allele, which is M9 position, allele is C, which is cytosine. And that's going to change in the descendants of Japheth. It's going to change from C to G. So it's going to change from cytosine to guanine. That's how you can tell the descendants of Japheth. All of the descendants of Japheth have this M9 marker position that's no longer original. It's no longer C or cytosine. It's guanine in this M9 position. Same thing with Ham. If my cursor is going to work. Okay. Must be having issues again. Okay, so we got, I don't know why it puts the F. It's not F. It's not, it has nothing to do with F. You can remove that. But on the M89 position, the guanine is changed to arginine. So that's all the descendants of Ham have in the M89 position, marker position, it's no longer the original G guanine, but it's the A arginine. Because up here, in the root, it's guanine here. But it changes to RG. But you may have noticed here that these S&P markers are not the same in this family tree as it is in the other family tree, because it's the S&P markers that Grok gives me, and it changes all the time. I told him to check and verify, make sure that they're correct, but you can never depend on Grok because he gets tired, goes to sleep, or whatever. So here it is again. You have the marker M89 position. The original is G. In Japheth, it's unchanged. So, but in Ham, it changes from G to A. Same thing with the M9, which is original C in Noah, but in Japheth, it changes from the C to the G, from the Sidon to the Guanim. And this one here, well, if it's identifying the Japheth, it's not identifying the Ham. And of course, the original, this one, IJK L15, is unchanged in everyone here. So this is trying to say it's 100% correct, 100% checked and everything. But I don't always believe it. So back with the basal root, since this is all basal, every change from here on out is going to identify each one of these haplogroups. So it's unchanged except for each one of these. So in all the populations, this is how similar all humans are. It's going to be all the same except for in Levi, or the J1P58, this would be the Cohen modal haplotype. And it's descendants of Cohen, which it says Levi, but it's actually Aaron. The only, in this J1P58 position, it changes from cytosine to taurine. Forget what that is. But anyways, that's only in the descendants of Aaron. Everybody else, generally speaking, everybody else, it remains C. Because this, in this position here, in the Y DNA, this position in the Y DNA, if you looked up your DNA, it would be a C, unless you're a descendant from Aaron, then it would be a T. And that's the way it is for all of these. This is me personally, Dan, the tribe of Dan, I1, M253. Everybody else in the world has a C. I have a T, or that's me and my Danite cousins. We all have a T, while the rest of the world has a C. So this is the way to better understand the changes, because the changes are always downstream from the IJK. Of course, with me, I have many, many more unique changes. I have many, many more S&P markers because I'm very far down the line as far as the S&P markers are concerned. But of course, in review, when you start in Noah, this is the root, Basal, most original lineage. And we have some samples here. I got Grok to dig me up some samples. We got the Always One in Romania, the Vestonsis 16 in Czech Republic. There's the IJK Basal. In other words, they're the most basal. Actually, this L15, everybody has it. So I don't know what they're saying about that. But anyways, when you get to the IJ, now you're talking specifically is IJ. Okay. You got the Goyet, Belgium, the Bacho K. Oops. See if this thing works. Nope, it's not working. Trying to get the thing to slide over, it doesn't work. But anyways, you get the idea. These are not very well known. A lot of these are not very well known. Until you get to, where we got Ramesses again. Ramesses is not here. Ramesses is not supposed to be here in J1. It's not Ramesses. See, Grok gets all confused. Gets tired, gets confused. Ramesses is supposed to be way down here with, what is it? It's supposed to be Mitzrayim. So we got Amenhotep, and we got Akhenaten. That Ramesses is supposed to be down here. It's supposed to be E, the E haplogroup too. In the Tufian culture, they got this one here in Morocco. For the A, remember the A is the Khoisan people. You got the San Bushman. That's correct. Then the D, the Jomon culture. Andaman Jarwa. Jomon culture, Japan. Andaman Jarwa in India. The Ainu Japanese, and we got the Tibetan monk. So the Tibetan monk is the D haplogroup, and the Altai princess in Siberia, I guess that's supposed to be. I didn't know they had an Altai princess that was D. This, of course, is also what a Denisovan is. A Denisovan is a mixture of either Hamitic D, probably Hamitic D, and the Eurasian in the area, which would otherwise be Neanderthal. So it's a mixture of Neanderthal and the Hamitic haplogroup D or C, because you also have in Siberia, you have the C up here. Denisovan, C. Oh, it's got them identified as C. That's kind of strange. Wow. And the Kennewick man. Well, the Kennewick man, is that C or is that... I thought the Kennewick man was Q. He got it all mixed up. Gets confused, gets tired. But anyways, that's the right idea. The Denisovan is Hamitic. It's a mixture of Hamitic and Eurasian. Same thing with the Altai, in the Altai Mountains, where the Denisovan was first found. Well, anyways, that's how it works when you root the family tree in Noah. This thing will work. We can get it back, and I can't get it back. Okay. No, I can't get it to go up. I can't believe this. Anyway, there it goes. Guess my computer gets tired too. So that's what happens when you make the IJK the root, which would be Shem and then Japheth. Shem is the IJ, and K is Japheth. But then the H is Elam, and the G is Asher, and then there's two F branches. There's a P14 branch, and then there's a P133 branch. And there's other markers too. But that's the way the S&P markers work, is that, for example, the I2 of Asher, only the descendants of Asher change from G to A, or whatever to whatever, because they can't even match the ancient samples, DNA samples, with a correct haplogroup here. So anyways, I'm working on it. That's the way it works. And of course, we have Ashkenaz, Riphath, and Togarma. Togarma, let's see if he's got King Tut here. Yeah, right there. Tutukaman. I had to correct the rock because he had Tutukaman as J2, which is Judaic. So no, that's not right. It's R1b. So he changed it to R1b. So King Tut of Egyptian fame is actually a descendant of Riphath, R1b, descendant of Gomer. Ashkenaz is R1a, Riphath R1b, Togarma is R2 in India. And you have these ancient samples here. And there's an ancient sample, a so-called Viking, but it's an N. It's an N. I don't know. This Mata man, what's this Mata man doing? It's all mixed up. N-O. Magog is N-O. I don't even know. Anyways, it's all messed up. You put too much information, it gets confused. I'm going to have to try to straighten it out. But yeah, this Mata man is wrong. This Viking is probably wrong. It's probably not N-O. Anyways, well, if it's Norway, maybe. If it's Norway, possibly. But Ethiopia, no. No, the Mata man is somebody else. As a matter of fact, let's go back. do this other one. Let's see if I can do this here. There we go. All right, now this is obviously going to be different because, okay, Noah, let me say, Noah is the Basal, IJK, no S&Ps. It's the Basal original, no S&Ps. So Shem being the oldest one is, now it has M89T, and it's going to change from T to C. So I don't even know which one is correct because he comes back with all different kinds of answers every time. But the reason why I'm going here is because you can see that the I-1 has the Birger Jarl, I-2 has the Cheddar man, Levi and Arabic tribes have the co-modal haplotype, Judaic is the Coitus Kittle man, Elam has the Elamo-Dravidians, and Asher G, the G haplogroup is Otzi. So Otzi was an Assyrian descendant of Asher in Europe. So and then we got Aram Lud. Be hard to find something from them. We have Tubal, Neolithic Iberian. Tubal, the K is also in Italy. Javan T is a Lubic man. Tiraz L is the Tepe Hisar man. Because I verified each one of these individually, so there's probably much more correct. Tian Yuan man is Magog. See, that's more correct for the NO. That's much more correct there. Tian Yuan man. Meshach is a Geoskar man. Madai, this is correct here. Q is Ansik 1. Ansik 1 and the Kennewick man too is Q. So the Ansik 1 and the Kennewick man are both Q. Gomer, we have Ashkenaz, Ripfeth, and Tagarma. We got Nicholas Copernicus, R1A. King Tut again, R1B. Ganjadara, man, is Togarma, R2. Now, Kush, here's the Mata man. The Mata man is B. So, Grok is all messed up and tired. Nimrod, we have we got the Tiawan man again, so it can't be both. Where was it? Oh, it can't be both NO and C. It can't be both. It's got to be one or the other. You can't belong to two lineages. But A, we got the Bolito Bay boy, some kind of ancient sample. Sinim, we got the Sino-Tibetans, Joman, Ainu. Mitzrayim, we got the Old Kingdom individual, and Ramesses 3. There's Ramesses 3 again, but it's E, where it's supposed to be. So that's a little bit more intelligible, I guess, right there. I have the other one in the description, but it's probably all wrong. If I can correct it, maybe I can correct it because I had to eliminate a whole bunch of it. But I didn't go about it the right way because I just had Grok fill in the blanks, but I got to go through each one individually and check it. Ask them for each one, each haplogroup, because it's not going to be correct. It's not going to be accurate. Anyways, that's about it for today. I gotta go get ready. Here we go. Hello, David. There we go. Let's see. Y-DNA haplogroup is J2 M67 is found among Jewish populations, but it's not exclusively Jewish. It's common in Middle East and Caucasus regions. Right, but remember that people are not going to always know where their lineages are from. Gypsies have and I1, J2. Yeah, Gypsies do have J2 because they claim to be Judaic too. Gypsies claim to be Judaic as well. Also the H. The H is the Elamite. The I1A Z62. That's not my I1A lineage, but I'm an I1A descendant, but not this lineage, of course, because that's a gypsy lineage, and I'm not a gypsy. Oh, gypsy is the wrong word, by the way, because it's a misnomer because they named them gypsies because they thought they were Egyptians. That's why they named them gypsies. So a gypsy is a misnomer. They're not Egyptians. They're technically Romani for whatever reason. But are they Jewish descendants? Yes. J2 is definitely a Judaic descendant. Okay. Also H, M82, that is the Elamite. The largest haplogroup in the Romani population is H. Second to that is the Judaic, which they claim to be Judaic as well. So it's a mixture of a Judaic lineage and an Elamite lineage. Plus there's they have Dan in their population as well, descendants of Dan. So those are three lineages in their population. Y chromosome lineage. Roma, Gypsies, and the Balkan populations. Yep. I had arguments with carriers because they claim they are the only ones carrying ancient Israeli DNA. They don't accept their ethnicities, but themselves is Jacob, and E1B1B is Esau. E1B1A is Jacob. E1B is Esau. Nope, it's Hamitic, as we could see. If you go here, everything. Well, in this case, it's the original basal alleles is M89T, and when it comes to descendants of Ham, the T changes to C. So it's not M89T anymore, it changes to C. But in this other one here, it's M89G. Whatever allele it is, changed from M89G to, if I can get this thing to work. It changes to the, I guess it was M89, whatever it was, A or whatever. I can't get this thing to work. There it goes. So in Ham, it changes from G, M89G, to M89A. These are the alleles. Whether it's G or T or C or A, it changes from one to the others, and that's how you identify the Hamitic population, because it's changed from its original configuration. Same thing with the M9C here, changes to from C to G, M9G. But then if we go back here, the M9C changes to wait a minute, to G. M9C changes to G. So I don't know why it's such a problem to get the alleles correct. Don't know why it's a problem for my computer to work either, but here it changes M9C to M9G. So anyways, that's good. Thanks for everybody's participation and everything. And I'll see everybody next time. Hopefully, I gotta go get ready. Go to work, I guess. I'm retired, but I still work sometimes. So God bless everybody. Take care.